The potential for DLC in Modern Warfare 2 is huge. So I wanted to bring you my wish list, which contains about 39 guns that I'd like to see added to this game. Welcome back to the channel, my name is Gordon. So let's start. Kilo 141. Now, the Kilo is the laser gun of Modern Warfare 2019, and I would love to see it return. But the cool thing about it too is that in real life, it actually does have a battle rifle version. The Kilo 141 is known in real life as the HK433, and it does have a planned, as far as I'm aware, version of itself, the HK231, that's chambered in 7.62. That is a common battle rifle caliber. So, Kilo 141 in 5.56, and Kilo, another name, in 7.62, battle rifle version. Easy. Next, the Grau, King Grau 5.56. So this in real life is known as the Sig Sg556, and you might also remember this gun as the SWAT 556 from Call of Duty Black Ops 2, which gives the Grau kind of potential to have a receiver that also works as a burst fire version of itself, which would be really cool to have. But this gun also has a battle rifle variant called the Sig Sg553R. And this one is also chambered 7.62, so the Grau at the very least has potential for both an assault and a battle rifle. Pretty cool stuff. Next, the AN94. To this day, it remains one of the coolest, most interesting, and also most complicated in terms of mechanical design guns ever made. It wasn't that great in Modern Warfare 2019, unfortunately, so if they were to bring this back, I would hope that it's more in line to the Black Ops 2 version of it instead. Now, that one's a lot better. It's something about that hyper burst of the initial 2 shots that just made it really weird in 2019. And I'm not saying they should take that away, because they did it correctly in Black Ops 2 and it feels great, but yeah. Next, the G36C, but this one can come as the Holger 26 from Modern Warfare 2019. Now that one was an LMG, because that one was based instead of the MG36. But it is in the same family as the G36C, which is a very common, very popular Modern Warfare gun. So they could bring that back as a different receiver and call it the Holger 26C or something like that. Weapon platforms in this game are wonderful because they create all of these possibilities. You have one gun, and it turns out in real life it has a battle rifle version of itself. So you can just have both in this game now, because why not, right? But anyways, the next one I want to talk about is the Ram 7, also from Modern Warfare 2019. And I love this one because there are a million variants of what in real life is called the TAR-21. You might remember this one from original Modern Warfare 2. Now, for the SMG version of this, you might also remember the MTAR-X from COD Ghosts, right? The weird thing about that one, though, is that it was chambered in 5.56, so it should have been an assault rifle, but for whatever reason, it got put in the SMG category. However, there is a TAR in real life that actually is chambered in 9mm. So whatever, we can just have a 9mm TAR and call it the Ram X or something, in reference to Call of Duty Ghosts. And then, of course, it has a battle rifle version. There's also this gun called the Tabor 7, and that is a TAR chambered in 7.62. So yeah, SMG, battle rifle, and assault rifle, all in one nice package. Love it. Next up, you might remember this one if you played Ghosts, the MSBS, the most overpowered gun on launch. Now, I want to bring this one up because I was doing a little bit of research on guns today. I found out that the MSBS apparently is deployed by the Ukraine army in their fight against the Russian invasion. So there is some real world relevance to this gun right now. Good potential for a comeback to Call of Duty. Now, the standard version of the MSBS was burst fire in COD Ghosts, so I think it could return as that as well. Now, that one's a bullpup. However, there is another MSBS that's a not bullpup, it's a traditional rifle. And also, the MSBS can be chambered in 7.62, so I'm proposing that the standard MSBS from Ghosts, chambered in 5.56 and bullpup for the assault rifle version, and then for the battle rifle version, we can have the not bullpup version and that chambered in 7.62. Next up, and I'm trying to put as many iconic guns from original Modern Warfare 2 in this, because, come on, this game really deserves some of that love, some of that nostalgia, and it's the ACR. I would love to see the ACR come back. Come on, it's one of the most iconic Modern Warfare guns, and this is Modern Warfare 2. The name alone, it just makes sense, come on. The next two entries are very, very biased, because these are two guns from Call of Duty Ghosts that I really enjoy for one particular reason. Now, I didn't play Ghosts myself in its prime, but I did love the inclusion of these two guns. These are the FAD and the SC2010. And fun fact, these guns are Peruvian. So, as a Peruvian myself, of course, I would love to see these guns return to Call of Duty. The FAD has one of the most interesting models that I've seen in an FPS ever for an assault rifle. It's just such a unique and weird looking gun. And the SC2010 has some pretty cool reloading animations in Ghosts. So yeah, why not? I'd love to see these too. Now, the FAD, another fun fact, it stands for Fusil Automático Doble, or double automatic rifle. I'm not sure why the double is there, to be honest. But the other thing about the FAD is that it's more of a grenadier kind of rifle. So it apparently is issued with a underbarrel grenade launcher. So I propose that if the FAD was to be added to Modern Warfare 2, then it could be included with the grenade launcher without using an attachment slot. And if you wanted to change it to a different kind of grenade launcher, then that's when you use your attachment slot. But that would be a bit of an interesting gimmick with it, of course. And the SC2010, it was actually developed to replace the use of the FAL, or the FAL, for Peruvian troops. Now, I haven't seen any of those deployed, and I've seen more Peruvian troops with FALs than with SC2010s, because I haven't seen anyone use an SC2010. But the other cool thing is that, to my knowledge, both can also be chambered in 7.62, so they can also have a battle rifle version of themselves. More cool stuff. Love it. Next, the ARX-160. This one was featured in both COD Ghosts and Advanced Warfare. In Ghosts, it was a fully automatic gun. In Advanced Warfare, it was a burst fire. And could be either. Maybe we could have both as receivers. Also, it wouldn't have the name ARX-160, but it is one of the cooler looking guns of that era. Yeah, if you notice, I'm talking a lot about Ghosts guns, because let's be honest, they really had a lot of variety in that game compared to the other Modern Warfare games. And speaking of the devil, the Maverick. Now, the Maverick, I'm pretty sure is a completely made-up gun, but it's essentially a weapon platform before weapon platforms have ever been a thing in Call of Duty, because the Maverick was a DLC gun in Ghosts that was offered both as an assault rifle and as a sniper rifle, the Maverick A2. Now, it is a semi-auto sniper, so I feel like it would be better suited for the marksman rifle class, but if it's either that or a sniper, I don't really care. I'm fine with whatever they bring us, but it would be cool to have the Maverick back. And again, from the get-go, it was designed as an actual weapon platform. Next, the Odin from Modern Warfare 2019. This one, similar to the Maverick, can also be a sniper rifle. In real life, that would be the BKS, which coincidentally is also a gun from Ghosts. Oh boy. But yeah, the Odin would be coming back from Modern Warfare 2019 in this case, and then it could have a platform in the sniper rifle category to be the BKS. This one makes a lot more sense based on the caliber that the Odin runs on. So yeah, there you go. Next, the FR556. I'm actually surprised that this one did not come on Modern Warfare 2's launch, at least to our knowledge, right? We haven't seen any data mines of this gun ever appearing. I mean, come on, it's the FAMAS. So I almost think it's guaranteed that this will come to the game at some point. But I would like it to also come in one of the more commonly known variants in Call of Duty. This is the FAMAS Valorisé. This is the FAMAS that you typically see in Black Ops games. So it's the FAMAS from Black Ops 1, it's the FAMAS, or rather the FFAR from Black Ops 3, and it's also the FFAR-1 from Cold War. How would we do this in weapon platform terms is, of course, FR556 as a burst rifle, and then I would call it the other version, the FR Auto, and that would be the FAMAS Valorisé. I mean, come on, I think it just makes too much sense. But it would be really cool to have both. Next up, the F2000, or as it's been renamed in Call of Duty, the BP50, which I suppose just stands for Bullpup 50. Of all games, this one was reintroduced in Call of Duty Vanguard. This one was supposed to be like a prototype or an early design for a futuristic gun of sorts, and it looks the part. It's also probably the most broken gun in Vanguard as of right now. But yeah, I mean, come on, it's the F2000 from Modern Warfare 2. This is an obvious choice for me to bring back. It just looks so goofy, but so cool at the same time. Please, next one, the CR56 AMAX, another returning gun. This one is the Galileo Ace in real life. And the cool thing about the Ace, or the ACE, whatever name you want to go by, is that it can also be chambered in 7.62. If I recall correctly, it did have a conversion kit in Modern Warfare 2019, which I don't think was a 7.62 conversion. It might have been a different caliber. I don't remember what it was, but it turned it into more of a marksman rifle. So we could even have a CR56 AMAX in reference to 5.56, then a CR62 in reference to 7.62 for the battle rifle version, and then it could have that other conversion that I forgot about for the marksman rifle category. And the final assault rifle that I would love to see is this, though this one is pretty much a long shot from ever appearing, and that is the XM8, or as we know it in Black Ops 2, the M8A1. Pretty much a weapon platform on its own, with its own sort of attachments and gadgets and all that stuff. I'm not sure if this could also be cheaper in 7.62, probably yes, so a battle rifle potential as well, but I would love to see it more as a reference to Black Ops 2. And there are a couple guns here and there in this list that are also referential to Black Ops 2, because we're actually quite close to that game in the timeline. I mean, Modern Warfare 2 takes place in 2022, and it's got whatever story goes on in it and Warzone throughout the seasons will take place in 2023, and that's only 2 years away from Black Ops 2. So you could pretty much copy the entire weapon roster from Black Ops 2, put it in Modern Warfare 2, and it would still make sense. Except any of the stuff that looks way too futuristic, but heck, it's Call of Duty we're talking about, the same series that has Godzilla vs. Kong in World War II. I wouldn't even be mad if they somehow put the millimeter scanner from Black Ops 2 as an attachment in this game. In fact, I think that would be quite helpful. I mentioned a lot of battle rifle potential, but one I forgot to mention was the FAL. I did talk about it before, but yeah, the FAL is another very safe pick for a battle rifle. Next up, the SMGs. I'd like to see the Uzi return with the Action Express rounds that he had in Modern Warfare 2019. That's pretty much what put the gun on the map. Before it was garbage. After that DLC attachment, by the way, came out, it was really good. Next, the CX9. I am kind of disappointed that this one's not coming on launch. This is my favorite SMG in 2019, but I fear that it may also outclass the Fennec completely, or that the Fennec may outclass the CX9 because they're pretty similar. Super high fire rate, but the CX9 has better magazine attachments than the Fennec. So I'm not sure how equally those two could be balanced, but that's a possibility, and I really want the CX9 to come back. Next, from OG Modern Warfare 2, the UMP-45. Now, I want this one and not the Striker 45, because that is not the UMP. That was a completely different gun. I don't remember what it was called right now, but that was not the UMP. I want the proper HK UMP-45 to come back to Modern Warfare 2. It's the perfect game to put this gun in. And speaking of the 45 ACP rounds, I would like to see the ISO. But Gordon, the ISO in 2019 was chambered in 9mm. Well, as it turns out, this whole family of SMGs has multiple variants, and one of them is chambered in 45 ACP. I would like the ISO to be chambered in 45 ACP in this game, because that could be a better excuse for it to be more competitive, because its problem in 2019 was that it was complete and absolute garbage. If you were using the ISO, you were absolutely nerfing yourself. You were putting yourself at a complete disadvantage. There was no reason to ever use that gun. But if you were to chamber it in a slightly higher caliber round than the one in Modern Warfare 2019, then all of a sudden, there's a good reason for it to do a little more damage. Okay, it is not called the ISO. Call it the ISO 45 to make the distinction. And it will also be the perfect redemption arc for that gun, because it looks cool. It looks legitimately cool, but it was just so bad. I would love to see it return, but as like a good gun. That's it. Next, for the LMGs. I would like to see the MWII return, but it should be, if it were to return, it should be called the MG82, same as Black Ops Cold War. Maybe it could be the MG82 A2 or A3, A4, whatever, just to make the distinction that it's a more modern version of itself. Now, I suggest this because this was featured in Ghosts and is one of the coolest LMGs that exist in that game. So why not? Another one that would be criminal to not include in Modern Warfare 2, the Finn Lng. Now, the Finn Lng is pretty cool on its own, right? It has some very interesting barrels that modify damage. Those were the adverse barrels. I think they modify damage or fire rate, something along those lines. But then, it had the attachment to turn it into the chainsaw from Ghosts. One of the coolest LMGs ever put in a Call of Duty game. Bring it back. It needs to come back. The Finn is such a cool gun to use in Modern Warfare 2019. When it's the chainsaw. Come on, I think everybody would be happy to see this return. Next one, it's actually a different kind of potential with this weapon platform system that we have. I'd like to see the hammer from Black Ops 2 return. Now, I'm not sure if it's called the hammer in real life, but what this is, it's the Scar but in LMG form. Now, I say this is interesting because we already have a SCAR platform in the game with the TAC-56, the TAC-H, and the TAC-EX, which apparently the TAC-EX was leaked today, so I think it's pretty much confirmed that that platform will include 3 guns. We just need to see the TAC-H, but it makes too much sense for it to not be in the game, right? But a DLC potential for this, of course, would be the Hammer, which means that maybe in the launch roster that we have currently, some platforms may be lacking a couple of guns here and there. And the SCAR platform, or the TAC platform, I guess, would be missing its LMG configuration, so why not just put it as DLC and complete the whole thing, right? Now, for snipers, not an awful lot, but I'd love to see the Rytec AMR return. Now, I wouldn't say this if I didn't know that the Rytec actually has one particular unique attachment compared to the Signal 50, because otherwise they'd both be the same gun, essentially. But the Rytec in 2019 had the ability to put explosives or thermite ammunition, so it would go from a sniper rifle to a more proper anti-material rifle. It would do a different role under those circumstances. It could be quite cool in ground war as well for taking out tanks. Next up, the Intervention. Come on, it's criminal that it's not on the launch roster already. Amend this mistake and put it as DLC. Now, shotguns. I have way more shotguns in here than I expected to have originally, because I'm not even a shotgun user, but there's so many of these that just fit this game perfectly. So, the first one is from Ghosts, and also from Advanced Warfare, but this one, if you don't remember it, it's the Bulldog Shotgun. This is the one where its magazine was a tube that you fed on the barrel of the gun itself. Now, I suggest you look this up on how this works, because it's a very unique system. I think only its manufacturer works with this kind of system, and they sell it as, oh, we can fire our bullets really fast because there's no magazines, all of the bullets exist inside the barrel. It's one of the more unique shotguns I've ever seen in Call of Duty. And if you want to look it up, it's called the MWII, or the MAUL. The other interesting thing about this is that the Bulldog, or the MWII, is actually both a shotgun on its own, but it can also be an underbarrel shotgun. I would love to see the Bulldog introduced both as a gun on its own and as a DLC attachment. Now, a couple of returning ones that I would love to see. The R9O from 2019, Origin 12. It also looks beefy as hell, but it's semi-automatic. I'd love to see the VLK Rogue as well. Returning from Modern Warfare 2, I would love to see the Model 1887s. Akimbo. Yeah, not nearly as overpowered as they used to be, but come on. You know you want to see this gun return, even if it's gonna frustrate you to no end, but you know you want to see it. There's a few criminal ones that haven't been included in COD in a long time. First off, the SPAS-12. Well, I think that was actually in... Yeah, that's the Gallo in Cold War, but it hasn't been in a Modern Warfare game in ages. So the SPAS-12. The cool thing about the SPAS-12, which is something that Call of Duty never took advantage of, is the fact that it can be both semi-automatic and pump action. You can literally just change it from one to the other in real life. Next one is the KSG. I would love to see the version from Black Ops 2 return. What made that one unique is that it was the first slug shotgun in Call of Duty's history. The slug would become an attachment later on for shotguns in other COD games, but it sucks. It's horrible. The idea of the KSG and what made it so special in Black Ops 2 was the fact that it was basically a shotgun sniper. So it had amazing range, but it was really, really hard to use because it was a sniper, pretty much. I would love to see it return in this game as a slug shotgun standard to then be able to be converted to buckshot through the ammunition attachment. So the reverse of what the other shotguns in the game usually would have. And my final shotgun suggestion would be the MTS-255. There's a couple of reasons I like this one. It's a revolver shotgun. Remember the Einhorn revolving from Vanguard. And yeah, that pretty much demonstrates how they would do gunsmith for a revolving shotgun. Although I do hope that they don't have that stupid magazine attachment because that defeats the entire purpose of the thing. But yeah, it also looks really cool in COD Ghosts. What can I say? It's just a very cool looking gun. And my final two are pistols. I want to see the Executioner from Black Ops 2 return. Even though I expect the Magnum Revolver pistol to have the snake shot attachment as well. So that's essentially executioner, but not really. And with that, I think I suggested about 10 shotguns. What is wrong with me? But yeah, my final suggestion would be the Renetti. While we do have a full auto pistol and a whole bunch of semi-autos, we don't have a burst pistol. So right there, the Renetti, it was a regular single shot or semi-automatic, and through a barrel attachment, if I recall correctly, it could become a burst fire. In Modern Warfare 2, it could work the same way, or you could have two different receivers, one semi-auto and one burst fire, because the X12 and the X13 are already doing that. So it could be the Renetti standard and then the Renetti burst. And that's it. This was extremely lengthy. I can't believe I talked about these guns for way longer than I talked about 51, 52 on the previous video, but there you go. This is my wish list for DLC Modern Warfare 2. This amounted to actually more than 39. I made a couple more inclusions here and there. Oh, I forgot to mention the crossbow. Come on, crossbow. This surely is going to come at some point in the game, but I'd love to suggest that as well. And, okay, the ballistic knife for melee weapons. Okay, that's it. Enough of this list. Thank you very much for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye!